Hey guys, Marty here at Fly on the Wall, and I'm back to you with another sound design session. And today I'm focusing on the bass lines in Afro House. So the commonalities that I can see here is you have a mellow style of Afro House, and it's more of a sustained bass line where it follows the chord progression on the root notes, and it's more of a support layer for the low end. Similar to that, the staccato bass line, it really just follows the melody, and it's also another sub layer that's kind of just nicely sitting under there, but it's a bit also percussive as well. Um, because it's staccato, it has that like plucky sound to it, but then there is the percussive one as well that almost sounds like a tom drum. So I'm going to go over each one individually, and I'll start with the mellow. So bass line number one, basically, it's just going to be the sustained bass line, and it's just going to support the low end, support the chords in the low end. So I'm going to add it in as I play through. Once it kind of, I'll stop it again, and then you'll hear the difference. Now this is it with the bass line in. If you're wearing headphones, that'll be really noticeable to you. So we'll just jump right into Serum 2 here, and we'll initialize the patch. And first of all, I'll let you hear it in isolation. So. And we'll just jump back to that to refer to that if we need to. And we're starting with an initialized patch here. And one of the things I noticed that's quite common too is they use representations of, or emulations, sorry, of old synths like the Juno. So we'll use that and we'll drop that down 2 octaves. Half the work's already done. What we're going to do with the volume envelope, we're going to leave it as it is. And we're going to add in a second oscillator as the Moog and drop that down 1. And you'll hear yeah, that's kind of similar to where we're going, but we'll want the sound to be in mono. Yeah, and we want the filter to be quite heavy at 20 mg low 24. And that's going to happen on both oscillators. Now we want to modulate the filter. Now we've already got the pluck for the start of it, giving that a tacky sound. And we'll do the same with the resonance. Just a little bit about that, just gives it more attack. We'll just change that to a pluck and add some drive. And we can add some distortion, just a bit of tube. And if you want to widen it out, add a little bit of chorus. Feed that in. And I think that's the sound as it is. And if we play it now in context, right? Sounds absolutely fantastic. So we'll move on to the next bass line. So just before I move on to the next bass line, just for the last one, I forgot to show you the MIDI clip for that. So if you just go back into that, that's just the... So it's just the E flat to the F to the G to the F to the D. And that's really it for that. And the MIDI for this one, if you listen to this sound, again, this is what I'm saying, it's a support for the low end. And if you listen to the actual melody, which is this, and then you add the bass line in with that, you'll get this. And there you have it. So to create that sound, again, it's quite simple really. If we just go into this patch here and we want to use another emulation, so we can use this MDC and probably in around 30 or so, in around there, and drop it down 2 octaves and make it quite attacky, so like that. And that's the shape of the sound. Um, where the magic really happens in this sound is within the distortion and the compression. So if you use some multi-band compression, about 4.1 ratio, and then take the release down, put the gain up, and so you can hear without that, quite weak. Now it's quite attacky, and if you add some of the high end in and the low end, it still sounds quite attacky, even more so. And then we add distortion and a diode with quite a lot. So it is quite sharp and it is a bass, so we don't want that, but we do want that attacky sound. So what we'll do is add the filter in after all of this, again with some quite a lot of filtering. Now the magic happens whenever we add the modulation to the cutoff. And then add some drive for the volume. And a bit of resonance to bring out that attack a little bit more. And if we play that in context, we will have, you'll also have to put the sidechain on. And that's it for our staccato bass. The final bass line is the percussive bass line, and it's almost going to start off by almost creating like a tom or a kick, and you'll see that whenever I get into the synthesis of it. But before we get into anything, I'm just going to let you listen to it in context and then listen to it in isolation and show you the MIDI. So that's the sound that we're trying to recreate, and we'll just start with an initialized patch as usual. And similar to a kick drum, it's going to start with basic sine waves, and we'll do 2 of them and a sub oscillator, but we'll turn that down and we'll turn this down. So we'll start by -1 on that, -2 here on the first oscillator, and -3 on the second oscillator. And we'll get a shape first. For creating this sound, you probably will need headphones to get the shape at the start. That's the first sound, or that's the shape, the volume shape. What you want to do here is now modulate the volume of oscillator 1 with that and change that to envelope. Now we've got a bit of attack going on there, and turn that up. Sometimes it's difficult just to get that bit at the start, and we'll turn that one all the way up. What we want to do now is we want to modulate the coarse parameter. Again, change that to envelope. And this is the coarse parameter of, we want to change that to unipolar, that up to about 25%. Change this to BPM, or hertz, sorry. Get a bit of an attack on that. And for the next one, we'll just copy this across, but change this to about 12. And then modulate this one. Again, change it to unipolar. And for the final one, we're going to modulate the distortion, but we'll finish this section first by going into the filter. We only want to filter out oscillator B because we're using A as the attack. Drop that down to MG low 24, and we're going to modulate that. Again, just quite a sharp attack. Bit of release. Don't worry about the clicking, that's just me stopping the sound. And that's it for that section, except for we want some FM from the sub. We've got quite a bit of attack there, and now we want to add the distortion. Turn the distortion off and take this over here and modulate that. We're almost there. Just want to put a filter in at MG low 12 and cut out the very highs. Take the resonance out. And there you have it. I'm going to play that in context now. And put the sidechain on. And that is your 3 bass sounds that are common across the genre of Afro House. And that's all the bass lines I have for you today. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you in the next one for some lead sounds for Afro House. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.